for skills, for relevance, and for the ability to connect what they can learn in classrooms to the world that they will step into tomorrow. This generation needs guidance, agility, and opportunities to sharpen their critical thinking, creativity, and adaptability. Therefore, the responsibility before us is very clear to future-proof education, to design experiences that empower, and to ensure that every student leaving our institutions is not only a graduate on paper, but a professional, a creator, and a problem solver ready for the challenges of tomorrow.
Our thought leadership is becoming more relevant. Today you see Indian professors. Everybody speaks about Indian CEOs in the top 100 companies in the world, but we are not speaking about Indian professors of Indian origin leading Indian schools, international schools and international universities. Today across the world, Cambridge, in the history of Cambridge, has the first pro VC who's an Indian. Oxford has a pro VC who's an Indian. They're all at the second stage, but in America we are seeing people at the first stage. All this is the context of why India is ready to go international. One, to receive, but of course we've always been exporting our talent. I also want to bring it to Coimbatore. It's very important because this is a Coimbatore event, even though it's a regional event, a national event, but I also want to bring it to a Coimbatore context. Coimbatore, even though we're talking about internationalization today, our trade and commerce has always been international. 2000 years ago, we were exporting textiles to Rome. Every year, one of the biggest exports came from Coimbatore. Industry connections, if you see in the city and the region, many companies have a 4-generation partnership or a 3-generation partnership with Western companies, both in Europe and America. Over 100 companies which are of US or American and European legacy or ownership function in this city. Look at how our medical ecosystem is going international. Our hospitals are welcoming patients from all over. Our doctors are doing surgeries internationally. They have become globally recognized names to the extent that they have research papers and patents that global organizations and individuals are actually learning from, which already makes us. And our wellness spaces, our Ayurveda and our spiritual places are attracting people from around the world. If you look at the global world today, data says at least 60 Indian origin CEOs are leading global Fortune 500 companies. I think these are the ambassadors of Indian education system and Indian education values. And not just, I think, globally celebrated, even you look at closer home, I think we can take an example of ISRO. I think they have proved that success need not be imported. I think Indian scientists, Indian university educated scientists can do wonders. So as we take pride in the global talent, I think we also have to step back and see, as a country, are we creating enough opportunities for this large talent pool that is coming out of universities? Can we create a marketplace for the students who are coming out to power the Indian economy on their own? So this is where the conclave is going to help the internationalization and the industrialization. Internationalization means not just doing exchange workshops or collaborations, but also preparing students.
As I was saying, the whole world is transforming. India was a global leader for the last 90% of the last 2000 years. Just for 10%, 200 years, somewhere we lost the way. For whatever reason, we'll not go into the history. But once again, now the whole world is looking at India, and by the time India becomes 100, it will once again be possibly a global leader in terms of its capability, either in true GDP or at least definitely purchasing power parity. And for that to happen, from time immemorial, I think our knowledge system, the Bharatiya Jnana Parampara had always said Prajnanam Brahma. So consciousness or knowledge is ultimate, was an inherent first Mahavakya of the 4 Vedas. And then, but today the major changes, knowledge life cycles have reduced drastically. What was earlier 200 years or 100 years, steel 200 years before it evolved. Semiconductor, literally when semiconductor transistor happened in 1947 when India got independence, today transistors are literally, all pervading. I don't know, every one of us are carrying the world population in our body. the transistors. And then carbon age came about 1991. Ishima discovered carbon nanotube. Today, even the carbon technologies are evolving, and we are going into molecular and quantum level of dealing with atoms and molecules for anything and everything that we want to do. Coimbatore today has printing capability, textile capability, material capability, all sorts of electrical motors, switches, gears, everything. Nothing should stop Coimbatore to make all of the printable, flexible electronics, which is going to be the age of the IoT device, and on glass, paper, plastic, textile, ceramic, and again a few $1 trillion opportunity. The whole world is looking at India. The whole world is looking at Indian technology. The whole world is Indian, as already mentioned. They're already leading everywhere, and people are already jealous. That's why people are even trying to disrupt it. So it's up to us to truly make use of this opportunity. 90% of the last 2000 years we were leaders. Once again, in next 15 to 22 years, depending on what time scale we adopt, nobody can change this. It's up to us to make it happen. We'll once again be the leaders. For that to happen, we all have to dream big. Especially the academics, ensure everybody, whether it's your student, and again, you see already the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha are way ahead of us. Teachers are the ones who are not changing. So can we change? Can we enable them? And can we make sure once again we become a global leader that we are? Once again, thank you for giving me an opportunity to share some of it.
For any international partnerships to be meaningful and to take solid roots within our institutions, we should have a good international office with proper structures in place. Many of our institutions have already started this process, but we probably have 1 or 2 members who are working with international universities. I think it's about time we think about an international office separately, and how do we actually set up what should be the structure, what should be the systems, processes in place. And this is where we can learn a lot from the corporate world. How do they professionalize their operations, so to speak? So we will kick off the session with creating a future-ready international office. And the second session talks about internationalization in higher education, where we have India heads from University of Reading and University of Birmingham, and we have a former director from Indian Institute of Management who will be talking about the various opportunities. This is where they will talk about the various student pathways. Believe me, I've been hearing these words for the past 1 year. It's still confusing for me because I will probably come back and learn more, because they have lots of terminologies there. So feel free to work with them, talk to them. First of all, let us understand what are the different avenues available so that we can forge a meaningful collaboration.
Admit students to their home universities from here. They can admit only in India campuses, but I don't know how far all that will be possible. We will not know what will happen. So I just thought this is a valuable information about international education, because a lot of our students are willing to go to US and UK to do their global education, to do their higher education.
This conclave would not have been possible without the people on the dais who have consistently come together to deliver value. I'd like all of you to put your hands together to please thank all of them. I'd like to thank Ms. Malarvali for being a strong pole for NHEC over the years and for contributing in every possible way. Thank you, ma'am. And you said you were going to be handing this over to us. That's not happening this fast. So you and Dr. Nandri will continue to mentor and to lead us. I'd like to thank Mr. Shankar Bhanuvarayar for being a part of this inaugural session. Sir, I saw the way you showcased Coimbatore in the India Today conclave that happened in this very venue. Remarkable. You are a true inspiration to all people. And to the chairman of CII Coimbatore, thank you, Mr. Rajesh. Thank you for standing by us always. You've been a very strong pillar of support. To the chairman of this conclave, NHEC 2025, Dr. Senthil Ganesh, what can I say? Thank you is the least I can say. You were literally just a message away for us at every stage. And when we requested to you, you came forward with unwavering commitment in spite of your busy state agenda. Thank you very much for leading us with clarity and shaping the directions of today's deliberations. Thank you very much. Professor Satyanarayana sir, thank you for graciously accepting our invitation to be here with us today. Your thought-provoking reflections on where we stand and where we stood in the global market were truly insightful. You're a treasure trove of knowledge. I could feel the energy, and I can't wait to look forward to hearing from you as you chair the first session for this conclave.